I don't know if any of you heard about this, but it was in all the papers. In 2004, the Red Sox won the World Series. And it was on all the TV programs. Everybody was talking about it. Now, it had been a long time between the last time that the Red Sox won the World Series and 2004, 86 years, if I have my numbers correctly. A lot of people want to know how come it took so long for the Red Sox to win the World Series again. And I know the answer. And because you're being so nice to me and spent good money to come out and see me, I'm going to explain to you so that you will know. There's two things that you need to know in order to understand why the Red Sox won the World Series in 2004. So try to remember these two things. One is that my wife hates baseball. The other thing is that in 2004, on the championship team, the Red Sox had 3 guys from the Dominican Republic who grew up dirt poor and wound up contributing significantly to them winning the World Series. Now, I know these things seem like they would never intertwine at all, but just pay attention. Now, let's start with my wife hates baseball. When I say that my wife hates baseball, I'm not saying that she don't like baseball. I'm saying that she hates baseball. That's why I married. No, hear me out on this. Marriage is difficult. There's a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. Every day, more stress. Job, the house, the kids grow up and they hate you and all kinds of things that happen. It's very difficult to stay married. So it's important, if you want to stay married a long time, to build stress relief into the daily activities of your marriage. So listen to this. If you love baseball, and you'll marry someone who hates baseball, think about this. That's 162 times a year for 3 glorious hours. They will leave you the fuck alone. Now, be a regular Saturday. Beautiful Saturday. Sun shining. 1,000,001 things I could be doing around that house. But instead, I'll be sitting in front of that TV. The baseball game on. And my wife will come in and look at me with such disgust. So look at me. I'm sitting there on the couch. I got my shirt open so my belly button can watch the game, too. And she would look at me with such disgust, and she would look at the TV, and she would look back at me, and she would look at the TV, and she would look back at me, and she would say, "There is nothing going on that TV! It's just a bunch of men standing around in a field, spitting and scratching themselves!" And I would say to her, "Yes, it's terrible. You should get as far away from this as possible." Unfortunately for me, I am hopelessly ensnared in their evil web, but you could save yourself. Now, I come from a long line of Red Sox fans. Now, until 2004, being a Red Sox fan was an exercise in masochism. I've had a long history with this team. Let me explain to you the suffering I have had with them. In 1967, I was 10 years old. I was a little leaguer. My team was in the World Series for the first time since the 40s. Okay, since the Ted Williams era. I was a little leaguer. I had rosy red cheeks. I had bright, shiny eyeballs. I was a happy child. The sun was always shining on me. My life was rainbow and lollipops. Other children would walk home from school, but I would skip home from school. And I would be singing sunshiny songs, la, 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 happy day. By November 1st of 1967, I was an alcoholic. I spent my 11th year sitting in the dock, chain smoking, drinking out of a bottle of Jameson till there is no God. Now, before 2004, I would talk about my Red Sox misery. The same way that I've been talking to you just now about it. And I play in Detroit a lot. And I would be in Detroit, and people would say to me, at least your team is always in it. And I would say to them, that is the problem. In 2003, just think about this. The Detroit Tigers had the worst winning record since the 62 Mets. The 62 Mets lost 120 games. There's only 162 games. I mean, you just have to show up and win more than that. And that year, 2003, the Detroit Tigers had lost 119 games. And when they were playing the last game, they had already lost 119 games. And if they lost that last game, they would have been as bad as the 62 Mets, which is the worst possible thing that can happen to you in baseball. And I watched that last game, and the other team felt so bad for them, they were throwing the ball to them like this. Underhand. And they had the nerve to say to me that at least your team's always in it. And I said to them, in 2003, 2 weeks into the year, you knew that your team was going to be one of the worst teams in the history of baseball. You should have sent them a thank you card. Because my team doesn't know how to do that. Being a Red Sox fan up until 2004 was an exercise every year in finding a more excruciating way to lose at the last millisecond. 1967, they lose in the 7th game. 1975, they lose in the 7th game. In 1978, the Red Sox got knocked out of a chance to go into the World Series by a guy named Bucky Dent. That's like losing to Bozo the Clown. You could almost see him running around the bases with a big red nose and floppy shoes and orange hair. Who could have predicted that? Nobody. In 1986, I can't even think I have like trauma. I lost the whole year.